Is Wisconsin staring at the possibility of a budget deficit again? New figures show tax collections in Wisconsin are less than projected. The Department of Revenue says the state collected $281 million less than was anticipated by forecasters. Now, Republicans say this is no big deal, but Democrats say it's a sign the economy is struggling. As it stands right now, the state would face a deficit at the end of the two-year budget cycle, and that could force the legislature to take action to keep the budget in balance. We're sorting through these claims now with Todd Berry. He's the president of the Wisconsin Taxpayers Alliance, and he's at our Madison affiliate, WKOW-TV. Todd Berry, good to have you back on the program. Let's start with the basic question here. Is this a big deal, as Democrats claim, or not such a big deal as Republicans claim?
Well, first of all, we should say that in these kind of debates, neither side has it quite right. Is it a big deal? I think one thing to be said is that $281 million is just under 2% of collections. To be real honest, if we could forecast the economy within 2 percentage points, you and I wouldn't be sitting here. We'd all be making a lot of money somewhere else. So it's just the nature of, in part, of forecasting. The legislature and governors of both parties have, over the years, thought that estimates were real numbers, and they're not. They're best guesses. And I think it's important to remember that.
What's your best guess of what's going on here, besides the fact that projections can have some margin of error? Democrats seem to suggest that the economy is slowing, that perhaps cutting taxes by $2 billion wasn't a great idea. But Republicans say if you look at the sales tax numbers, they were up. This shows the economy is doing fine. What's your take on it?
Well, again, we have to sort of weave our way between the two. This shortfall could be for all sorts of reasons. It could be because the economy is slowing, and it would probably be, partly the national economy. If you look at what happened in the first quarter with GDP, it dropped. So if Wisconsin tends to mirror the national economy, and we do to a large extent, you would expect that to impact tax revenues. Then we turned around and we sort of lurched forward in the second quarter, which gives you some idea of how hard it is to predict. But there certainly was softness in the economy that would have affected these numbers. On the other hand, it could be all forecasting error. We just can't get it right. And again, as I said earlier, legislators and governors, regardless of party, don't get this. They think somehow the numbers are real when they're best guesses.
So if you're working off these best guesses, and you're the legislature, what are the options? You have to hope that the economy grows, that revenue collections increase, or you tighten the belt a little bit. Are those really basically the only two options out there?
Well, the bigger option, which is off the table because we've already shot ourselves in the foot, as we did with prior governors and legislators, is that because we cannot estimate the economy and revenues, we really should keep adequate reserves, and we don't. Both parties love to cut it too close, whether they're cutting taxes or increasing spending, and they get themselves in these predicaments. So that's the way you avoid the options. The options now, well, starters, we have to wait until the state closes its books on its spending.
Right.
Perhaps they will have saved some money, so the deficit, if there is one, won't be as bad or won't exist. Beyond that, I would think the governor and his administration would be quietly telling people to start leaving positions vacant, retrenching, don't travel out of state, all the things you normally do when you have these kinds of surprises. It's not good news, certainly, but I would say the real reason for the problem, again, is state government is incapable of long-term planning, regardless of party.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether they're Democrats or Republicans. It's just not as a strong suit for political parties.
I mean, if they would do what national budget experts suggest and keep a reserve of 5% or 10%, we would never be having these discussions.
Todd Berry is the president of the Wisconsin Taxpayers Alliance. He's on our Madison affiliate, WKOW-TV today. Todd Berry, thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you, Mike.
Next, what to do about fixing Wisconsin's roads and highways.